because we have the potential for some severe weather. And we're getting into that season now, springtime, where you have this clash between the warm air and the cold air. And Ed, this is the perfect example right here.
Yeah, look at Erie, 41, 41.
Look at Philly.
80
degrees, so 40-degree spread here. We've been fortunate enough to be on the warm side. We hit 80 ourselves on Saturday.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the front, where? Right about other side of State College?
It's still kind of back here. Obviously, behind it, it's colder. But the severe weather threat is, of course, to the east of that front, where we still have the warmest of air across the region.
So that's the setup. Let's show you what the National Weather Service, or what we call the Storm Prediction Center, has outlaid for us. Basically, Harrisburg and eastward is the yellow, which in the categories is a 2 out of a 5, 2 out of 5. So the best chance is going to be Harrisburg and eastward as far as any of these storms becoming severe. So here's a look at that, and you can see it goes all the way up towards Scranton. Basically the I-81 corridor, can we say that?
Yes, and southeast of there.
And then to the east.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet it probably, I'm thinking more like
Lancaster,
best chance,
York.
like Lebanon down through all of Lancaster, central York, southeast, but
yeah,
in general.
So let's go ahead and show you what has popped up, because not a whole lot. We're starting to see one little cell here in northern Dauphin County up near Elizabethville along maybe 209. So what we're looking for is really that catalyst, Ed, that's going to make things get feisty. One of those things can be sunlight. We've had some of that.
Yeah, especially across York and Lancaster. Notice it's starting to cloud up there again. But yeah.
Right, the heat of the day. So let's give a little wider perspective here. Not much happening out to the west, but I think where we really got to look is down here. So let's show everybody that, because that's where things are a little feistier. This is I-81, so we're starting to see some of that action near Roanoke, for example.
Yeah, and right, the mountains do a pretty good job of dividing the line between the warm to the southeast and the much cooler stuff to the northwest. So you see the storms that are firing over Virginia kind of riding along those ridges of the eastern Appalachians, and that's kind of where it looks like we're going to see the storms develop to the northeast as well.
And one of the things that people always talk about in our area is, you know, why doesn't the rainfall make it past the mountains sometimes? You get that, what we call the rain shadow effect. This is not that setup. That's usually if it's due west to east or something.
Right.
This would be riding along that ridge, right?
Yeah, you got the winds coming out of the south across Virginia, and you got the northwest winds coming out of the northwest behind the front, and where those winds meet, you get that upward motion, which gives you your storms.
And that's really the setup all spring long. So what's interesting is, where does that originate? So sometimes that front will be here coming down with its moisture, with its stronger storms. In this case, it's, as Ed mentioned, riding up and along the ridge tops here. So let's give some timing to this. We're thinking, we thought maybe we'd see something by now. So now we're past 4 o'clock. We're at 4:15 almost.
Yeah.
You thinking more like 6, 7?
Yeah, I think probably, generally 5 to 8. I think we'll probably start to see some stuff fire up. I mean, we already are to our southwest, but 5 to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm thinking here is going to be probably a good window.
And that's right, when folks are outside, kids have practice and whatnot.
Yeah.
Let me show you the future graphic here real quick. It's not super helpful at this time, but it does show a lot of those storms forming to the south, and then watch coming up to our north and to our east, and basically out of here. Let me see if I can run that back for a second. It just kind of skipped a little bit. But you see them kind of form right here, and then as we put it into motion, it just kind of slides off to the east. So it's a pretty quick mover. I think we're done by about 8 o'clock tonight, if at all, at this point.
Yeah, I think by 9 o'clock we're definitely seeing most of the action east of us.
Gotcha.
So, and then only gets cooler.
I think I froze the computer. There it is.
Yeah,
okay. So again, here's where we are. The action kind of coming up along that I-81 corridor. That's why we did declare what we call a CBS 21 Weather Watch Day. We look for certain parameters. So we're talking about gusty winds, maybe some small hail with this, possible?
Yeah, maybe some small hail and heavy rain. Heavy rain. You know, pretty standard, strong thunderstorm setup this time of the year. This isn't anything that's unusual, especially since we're heading into April. April starts tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah. April showers bring May flowers. So I know Steve Knight was talking about this morning. So it's kind of good just to get that refresher now in our minds, because we're heading into our strong to severe season. Our severe season is more late May, June, as far as the real feisty stuff.
Yeah.
But these are kind of little previews for us and what to expect. In April, you tend to get more of those easterly flow. We saw that over the weekend, right? With some rain showers. But this is a pretty good setup. We showed you that warmth and now that cold air clash.
And when Tom was talking about preparing, we've always said, to have a NOAA weather radio. It sounds like an obsolete term now because
you got your phone, you got internet
yeah, because you
everywhere.
got your phone and all that. So your phone is capable of getting warnings, and the warnings that your phone would get would come from the National Weather Service. And your phone has built into it the capability to immediately notify you, make a sound, if you are in an area where there's either a severe thunderstorm warning, a tornado warning, a flash flood warning. So it's just a good time now to sort of prepare and make sure your phone is in working order or it's set up.
Set up for that. That's the key.
To receive those warnings, and it depends on what kind of smartphone you have. It seems like the navigation to get to those settings changes by the week,
Right.
but it is obviously in your settings. Obviously, the path to get there to change those settings is a little bit different depending if you have iPhone or Android or whatever. So just something to think about and get prepared for.
All right, real quick, let's review here. We have CBS 21 News coming up at 5 o'clock. So we're going to give you a real-time update then, but also, again, we think Harrisburg eastward is the best threat at this point in time.
Yeah, and we're probably just starting to see signs of those showers starting to develop now.
Yeah, you can see that here.
Let's see, right now the current radar is not showing anything. The satellite, though, also shows the clouds, and we're starting to see some bigger clouds develop to our northwest.
I think we just erased the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
We just eliminated
Looks like
all
the
your computer.
weather system is gone. Technology. But yeah, if we go to the next one, or I could go back to the computer.
Yeah, why don't you go see if you
Yeah, I'm
can,
going to go back to the computer real quick and see if we can
Okay.
do the reset.
Anything we see tonight could be a fairly strong, but we're not anticipating tornadoes or anything like that. It's not going to be that kind of system. But we're going to see some of these showers pop up as the evening progresses. We do have another round of showers as we get into Thursday. So the next 2 days after this cold front comes through, much chillier. And then as we get into Thursday, that's our next chance. Ed, you made the rainfall come back.
Yeah, I did.
You
Well,
magic.
That's what meteorologists can do. They can
Look
just
at that.
change things like
Look at
that,
that.
and they control the weather, right?
He is like meteorology Superman.
Yeah.
So if you just tuned in, we just want to bring you up to date on our severe threat. It is there. It's fairly minimal, and it's Harrisburg and eastward. So this is the only thing we're seeing popping up. But again, the main action has been down to the south. So that's why we think a lot of that's going to come up from the south.
You know, this might actually be kind of the start of that line right
here.
You see how the showers are, see how
Right.
linearly connected like that. So, but again, they're not. Doesn't look like they're developing super fast. They're up in
No.
an area that's less conducive for
Down
severe weather.
Along 81 there south of Hagerstown, you're getting some lightning with that one.
Yeah, but if you draw your line, if you draw your finger like that right along the showers, that's probably the axis of
So
where
that-
everything is going to develop. So northwest of this, probably you're looking at a very low
Right.
chance of seeing anything.
Okay.
But once these showers swing a little bit further east and tap into where it's been sunny, which is over much
Aha.
of York and Lancaster,
That's your fuel for
that's your
rising
fuel,
air.
and that's probably where we're more likely to see some agitated storms. So.
Yeah, so the Futurecast is really setting up much to the east here, so you can kind of see how quick that
Yeah.
moves through. So, all right. We hope that gives you an idea of what to anticipate for this evening. So thanks for checking it out, and we'll keep you up to date. Of course, we'll have CBS 21 News live at 5. You're going to help me out, right? You stick around a little bit?
I think you want me to help you out?
Would you?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
all right.
All right.
We should mention it's going to get pretty windy, and the winds will be, as you see out here, out of the southwest at first, but by overnight tonight and tomorrow, it's a northwest wind. It's much chillier. We don't get out of the 50s.
No, we don't.
So the
It's definitely
chill
going to
is
feel
on.
cooler. I've had a lot of people ask, it seems like this is very, very windy March.
It's March.
Well, I do say that, but it does seem like almost every single day it's just been, we haven't been able to catch a break.
March is always windy.
I know.
It's the transition.
I know it's always windy. It just, maybe it's because I'm being asked that question so much that I'm thinking it's also windier than normal, but it's
well,
not.
the other thing we were mentioning, though, March has actually been well above average. We're running 5 degrees above average. So after some really cold winter, I mean, December, January, February, all below average. So this is our first month, really getting out of
I
it.
don't think April is going to continue that trend, unfortunately. It looks
No,
good.
first part of April is looking kind of chilly there. So, all right, hope that brings you up to date a little bit. And Ed's going to stick around for our 5 o'clock broadcast. So we hope you can join us then on CBS 21. We'll see you.